Alrighty, we should be live. Appreciate for you guys have been waiting in here. Like we got our first comment in here from 5:15 p.m. from Chauncey. He says, "Update: Lions have injuries to their offensive line. Jonah Jackson's out. Center Ragnow is currently doubtful. Also defense. CJ Gardner Johnson is on IR. So, there's some updates there in regards to the Lions status." Question: half PPR, Gibbs or Myers? Think points upside. I'm absolutely going with Jahmyr Gibbs. Really, there's not many assets that should have been ranked over Gibbs coming into this week. He's got the backfield for himself. Amon coming into this game banged up. We saw what he was able to display last week, and obviously, of course, the Raiders represent a very favorable matchup for him. So if you're not starting Gibbs this week, you're just not going to put Jahmyr Gibbs into your lineup, in my opinion. Who are the PPR players you would target in an Addison trade? Feel like I need to get rid of him. Higgins, Adams, Ridley, Johnson are my other wide receivers. So if I'm looking at my rest of season rankings, I would currently have Addison as, a wide receiver 2. Let me just adjust my rankings to see exactly where I have him at. So rest of the season, you're looking at like a wide receiver 2 type of range for Jordan Addison. Where I would be targeting is maybe you can get up to, looking at it, Brandon Ayuk's been having a couple bad games. If you can go out and get Brandon Ayuk in a deal involving Jordan Addison, that's absolutely something I'd be willing to do. Maybe somebody's hit the panic button right now on Puka Nacua. Obviously, a bad game against the Cowboys. Matthew Stafford dealing with an injury. If you can somehow swing that type of deal, I would rather Puka rest of season to Jordan Addison. Though on the same time, I guess with Kirk Cousins out, it's going to be pretty tough on that regard. Devontae Smith's probably not available at this point, but that type of wide receiver, if you can get up, again, Jordan Addison, more of a low-end wide receiver 2 for me rest of the season. If you can get up to that, high-end wide receiver 2 area using him, even if it's like Addison plus a bench piece to go up and make that, I would absolutely do that. Would you ever bench a guy like Amon St. Brown going into tonight when you're up less than 2 points? Seems like a coward play, but was considering just locking the dub. And he said, just likes, appreciate that, Pionio. But this all depends, I think, in the dynamic of your league. What does your bylaws say? Like, have you ever had instances like this before? I would really just gauge and ask your commissioner beforehand if you're thinking about doing something like that. Because at the end of the day, each sub league has their own rules. Technically speaking, it's not, against the rules of fantasy to do this. But at the same time, it's just kind of an ethical dilemma. It's like, does your league usually play like that? Or do they play a little bit dirty like that? Or, do they just, set their players? So my advice there typically is just, what does your league kind of allow you to do? Dallas Goedert or Dalton Kincaid rest of the season, full PPR, no tight end premium redraft. This is something I've been struggling to place right now. So what I've landed on thus far is Dallas Goedert to be my tight end 6, Kincaid to be my tight end 7 rest of the season. It's really close between those guys. I would say that second tier of the tight end 1 area, tight end 6 to 12, is really, really hard to decipher through at this point. The thing I want to see is how Dalton Kincaid will operate when Dawson Knox comes back, which is a little variable I've had in my ranking of him. But, it's clear cut. He's a top 8 tight end rest of the season. So Dallas Goedert I would take, but at the same time, it's like they are literally back-to-back for me any way you swing it. Wow, I'm trying to talk right now. It's a little tough. I'm 4-4 while being top 3 in points for, but lead the league in points against. Do I sell Achane for a better quarterback? Team is Field, Stroud, Brees, JT, Achane, handcuffs, Tyreek, ARSB, Ayuk, London. I personally would hold there. Personally, when it comes to Devon Achane, assuming this is a 1-quarterback league, the value of a replacement he's going to give you when he comes back is really better than any quarterback you can buy, because I doubt someone's going to go out there and give you Josh Allen, give you Patrick Mahomes, give you Jalen Hurts, even give you Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. If they're selling you a quarterback, they're probably like, I'll give you Trevor Lawrence for Devon Achane. And at that point, I think he's got a legit RB1 level upside when he comes back. So I would look for a true needle mover if you're going to move him for a quarterback. I need Amon and Laporta to outscore Jacobs by 10.5 PPR. Am I toast? No, you're not toast. I actually think you're in a very good spot here. So for context, I actually need a little bit of a Monday Night Miracle myself in my home league. I'm currently down by 40 PPR points. I have Sam Laporta, and I also have Jahmyr Gibbs tonight. So should be a little close. I'd probably give myself about a 40% chance to do it, but we're hoping for miracles. We're hoping for miracles. So for your perspective, hopefully Laporta lives up to his end of the bargain there. What do you think of Cincy going forward, getting better every game, or was it the Niners with terrible momentum? I think it's a little bit of both, to be quite frank. The Niners obviously have not been playing the same type of football that they were realistically since they played the Cowboys. It was almost like, I don't want to be that guy, because they did beat the shit out of us. I'm not denying that. They beat us, and I can't say anything about that. They whooped us on their field. But it's kind of like they had all that momentum, had all that, confidence coming into that game. They played that game like it was basically a Super Bowl game. And we've seen these last few weeks that sometimes you put that emotion into some game, it may not lead for the rest of your game. So I'm enjoying it thoroughly as a Cowboys fan because, we bounced back from that loss. We've been playing well these last couple of weeks. And, anytime the Niners can lose a game, it'll just bring a smile to my face. Anytime the Niners and the Eagles lose games, I'm a happy lad. So, but with that being said, when it comes to Cincinnati, I do think that they've reestablished themselves as a clear contender in the AFC. And, KC's not really proven themselves right now. Buffalo, we know how up and down they are. Jacksonville, on one hand, you want to put them there, but on the other, they're playing down to their competition like Pittsburgh. So it's tough to say in the AFC right now. The way the Bengals are playing, if they can keep up this momentum, and Joe Burrow these last couple of weeks has really picked it up, like they should be in the mix. And big shout out to as well for Baltimore. I think Baltimore's a really, really good football team, both offensively, defensively, number 2 in defensive DVOA right now. Marlon Humphrey playing some really lockdown football. It's tough to say who's going to come out of the AFC. At the end of the day, I'm always going to give the benefit of the doubt to Patrick Mahomes. But if you told me, come March this time that the AFC champion was, technically February, but I'm talking about after the Super Bowl, that the AFC champion was the Ravens or the Jaguars or the Bengals or the Bills or the Chiefs or any of these AFC teams, I wouldn't be shocked. Whereas with the NFC, if you told me like outside of maybe 4 teams that, I don't know, I'm trying to even think who's even going to be the 6th, 7th seed. Like, I think the Seahawks are a good team, so I wouldn't put them there. But like maybe the 2nd seed in the AFC South or NFC South, the winner of the NFC South, if you told me they made it, I'd be shocked. But whereas in the AFC, you may even make the argument that 8 or 9 teams are deserving for playoff spots. So it'll be fascinating to see what happens. What the fuck is Sirianni doing with Swift, man? Last games he's been saving him for second halves. What does that even mean? Yeah, I'm not quite sure there. For what it's worth, they've been winning their football games. They probably know his injury history. Probably don't want to get too much on his plate. So we're gonna have to adjust him in the fantasy ranks if that's going to be the case. If his opportunity share just isn't up there with some of the RB1s, he's probably more of an RB1 too. He's probably more of a fringe, top 12 to 15 back than the top 8 to 10 guy we've been having him at. How much fab would you spend on Jaron Hall in a 12-team Dynasty Superflex League start 9? The cop-out answer is how much does it cost, like realistically? Do you know if your league is going to be valuing him highly? Do you know if any other – I doubt any other starting quarterbacks are available. If this is like a contentious league, I don't mind spending the budget. It really just depends because, again, it's a start 9, so I'm assuming you probably don't even have, huge benches. So if you need a quarterback, like, I guess, but – I don't know. I'm not out there going crazy on it. Like realistically, at this point of the dynasty offseason or dynasty season, it really just depends what's available in your market. You said your fab is $100. If you're desperate for a quarterback and you have to spend the $100, like I doubt there's really going to be much available on the wire to begin with. So if you need to spend up to that much for a starting quarterback, by all means. Confidence in Olave as a dynasty asset. Would you do Devontae and Downs, Nico plus Downs? Devontae plus Downs is interesting, I would say. I still like Olave. I still think he's, a clear-cut top 8-ish type of dynasty wide receiver. Now, for the longest time, like people were saying, oh, he's over CeeDee Lamb, he's over AJ Brown, and it's like, I can't get there. Like I never was able to get there. But if you told me, top 8 dynasty asset, yeah, like at the end of the day, the offense stinks right now. Chris Olave is not scoring touchdowns. We have to evaluate that to a certain point, but at the same time, he's still a second-year wide receiver. So I still think he's a clear top 10 level guy. If you're lower on him, I think you can't put him any lower than number 10. If you're high on him, I don't think you can put him any higher than like 7 at this point. Because again, like I said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, like all those guys have to be ahead of him at this point. If you're in a deeper league, Devontae plus Downs, it's probably about fair. I'd probably want a little bit, taxed onto that. Maybe you could throw in a 2 on that, but I think that's a pretty reasonable deal, to be honest. Donald, I'm an Eagles fan, so I can speak. They're wary of his injury history. Okay, that makes sense. So we left off on our gravy here. My apologies. We've got a couple supers. First one from Blind. Appreciate that. Would you take AJ Brown and Achane for Allen and Javonte in a 10-team, 1 quarterback redraft league 2 flex? AJ Brown owner just lost Cousins. Players who swap Allen for currently. If again, this is a 1 quarterback league, sign me up. Give me AJ Brown right now. He's averaging over 20 PPR points per game. He's looking like a league-winning wide receiver. He looks like one of the top 3 to 5 wide receivers in the entire NFL right now. Like you could even put him higher, to be honest. He's been dominating for the last 6 or so weeks. So as much as I love Josh Allen, like if I can make this move and go get AJ Brown, I'm doing it every single time they're Blind. every single time. Make strong effort to trade Addison or no panic. I mean, it really depends what the market values of your league. If your league is very reactionary, oh, Cousins, he just blew his Achilles. I don't want to touch this guy. I don't even want to think about Jordan Addison. That's one thing. If your league's on the other hand, where they're looking at, Jordan Addison's box scores and not really evaluating the perspective that Cousins is gone, that's another hand. It really just depends what your league market currently is for Jordan Addison. Again, like I mentioned, he's kind of like a low-end wide receiver 2 for me. If you're getting, high-end wide receiver 2 price tags, that's what I'd be willing to sell him for. But if you're just getting, let's say somebody's offering you, I don't know, Josh Downs for Jordan Addison straight up, like I'm not doing that. If somebody's offering you like, I don't know, Chris Godwin for him straight up, I'm not doing that. Tyler Lockett for him straight up, I'm not doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I need an upgrade in order to move Jordan Addison. So that's just my thought on it. Where do we leave off? Donald? No, our Gravy, I believe. There's another one up here. Yeah, okay. There's an abundance of caution with him. Yeah, that makes sense there. He's likely to move. Yo, what's up, Smooth? What's up, Smooth? CD season, baby. Yeah. So unfortunately, we weren't able to do our reaction show because Corey's in Mexico at the current point. But big time performance for my Cowboys, man. Big time performance for that offense. The passing offense was humming. We got CD his 14 targets. I mean, that might have been one of the best games I've ever seen Dak play. And I mean, that's saying a lot because you guys know how highly I regard him, but the guy did not miss a single beat. That touchdown throw specifically to Jake Ferguson, where he ripped it down the seam between the safety and the corner, like this much of fucking wiggle room to get that ball in there. Like when Dak is playing confident and just striking the ball down the field like that, there's not many offenses that can compete with the Cowboys. And for what it's worth, man, the biggest encouraging thing that I found from that game as a Cowboys fan is I'm willing to harp on Mike McCarthy when he fucks up and he's calling a bad game and he has bad sequencing with his play calling, but the guy was on his shit in that game, man. Just the overall play calling, the dynamic, keeping his guys, the motion rate, for example, early down passing. Like one thing that bothered me so much is our willingness to just say, oh yeah, 1st and 10, we're going to jam it up the middle. 2nd and 9, we're going to jam it up in the middle again. Well, guess what? Now you're in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and Dak has to bail you out. That happened way too many times against the Chargers. So that's what I was a little bit nervous. Even though we beat the Chargers, I was like, this can't continue. This is not sustainable. Like, yes, Dak is a very good 3rd down quarterback. This is a very good 3rd down offense because your quarterback can deliver on 3rd down. But you can't put yourself into 3rd and longs and expect to win in the NFL on a consistent week-to-week basis. What we saw this week is, hey, listen, over the bye week, I don't know what they did. Tony Pollard's not the same guy. We're not running the ball efficiently on 1st and 2nd down. Scratch that. Number 4, the ball is in your hands. Go make the plays. And he was making the plays all over the field when it came to that game against the Rams. So I was really impressed. The adjustments on the fly, offense looking in sync. I mean, they didn't punt the ball at all until Cooper Rush came into the game. So that just shows you, man, that the Cowboys, like, it was against the Rams. I'm not going to, take too much away from it, but we got a big test this week. We go into Philly. We go into Lincoln Financial. We're going to see a lot what this Cowboys offense can be going into the rest of the season. Can we start D-Hop with confidence this week? The way Will Levis played, man, I think you can start him with top 30 to 35 level confidence, maybe even higher. Like Will Levis, honest to God, and that was another takeaway is he did not look like a rookie quarterback, man. He was pushing the ball down the field. I had, lower expectations for him, knowing that he had a lot of work to do to be an NFL starting caliber quarterback coming into the season. But I mean, he looked confident, man. He was ripping that ball. He was staying in the pocket, delivering off platform. Like he's giving you a big advantage now compared to what Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis were giving you this year. So in my opinion, I think rest of the season, you definitely have to upgrade DeAndre Hopkins, but I don't know. We'll see here. If you have him as, again, a wide receiver 3 in your lineup, first flex, I think that's fine. He's not going to be, a top 24 option for me, but 25 to 35 range, I think I'd consider him. But we got another super here from both Benjamin and Tom. So I'll get to those. First one, ARSB and Gibbs for AJ Brown and DeAndre Swift. Relatively close. 12-man league. I think I'm just going to go with the stud factor. I think I'm just going to go with AJ Brown and DeAndre Swift right now. AJ Brown's really impressing me, and I think as much as I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown has to be considered a top 4 to 5 wide receiver rest of the season, in my opinion. And AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown more so in that 7 to 9 area for me. Like I would take, CeeDee Lamb, maybe Devontae Adams, but AJ Brown, I think, is just a slight tier ahead at this point. And with DeAndre Swift versus Jahmyr Gibbs, as much as I love Jahmyr Gibbs, A, he gets diminished a little bit in half PPR, and B, we don't know what the split's going to look like with David Montgomery back. So Next one from Tom. He says, I'm a hero running back away from Nirvana. Gibbs smashes tonight. Then I trade Gibbs and CD for CMC and Ridley. Still have Chase and AJ. Any doubts? No doubts. I love CD Lamb. I just raised him up in my wide receiver rest of season rankings. He's my wide receiver 5 rest of season. I absolutely love him. But at the same time, CMC is a clear cut above. And I think Calvin really showed that he could be a sustainable wide receiver 2 down the stretch. So just for the fact that you're getting CMC, I think this is a smash move. But where did we leave off? Trigger, I believe. Perfect. 136 this week. My team finally performed. Let's go, Jared. Stafford, Bijan, Eckler. Oh, man. Yeah, you're cooking. In terms of any changes, nothing in particular. Obviously, Ridley's probably going to go into your lineup next week. But, I mean, aside from that, I think it's a pretty strong team. Hashtag feel better. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. For those that don't know, that's the meme of the channel. I was feeling sick a couple weeks ago. Jared's just wishing me better, so appreciate that. Next one from D-Bell. Happy Gibbs Day, Lasser. Happy Gibbs Day, D-Bell. I need an absolute nuke tonight. We're talking 20 carry, or he's not going to get 20 carries, but 15 carries for 87 yards and 10 catches for another 80 yards and finds Pater, and I can win my matchup because at the end of the day, man, I just want to enjoy some good football. And Jahmyr Gibbs, watching him play, is usually pretty good football. But where do we leave off here? Let me just take a look. Right here? No. Yeah. Traded Aaron Jones for Javonte Downs. Full PPR thoughts. Aaron Jones for Javonte and Downs. Yeah, I like this move. Aaron Jones, relatively similar to Javonte, in my opinion. And Josh Downs, I think, is a sustainable top 35-ish wide receiver. So I like that move for you. 2-quarterback league. Goff and Tua had Kirk. Should I try and trade for third quarterback Sam Howell, Will Levis, or try and upgrade Goff? I'm not like pressed to go out and get a third quarterback, or at least it really just depends on the cost. Like if you can get one of those guys for like a bench piece because he's like, the 4th or 5th quarterback on that team, sure. But like I'm not stressed. I think Goff and Tua should be fine, at least to get you through for the time being. And you can reevaluate once your trade deadline comes. If you do feel like you need a third quarterback, at that point you'd be appropriate. But it really just depends, I think, on the price there, Dub. Are you okay trading away Breece Hall for Jonathan Taylor and T. Higgins? Yes, I would, absolutely. I love Breece Hall, but I think Jonathan Taylor is right in that tier with him, assuming once he gets that full workload back. And T. Higgins, I think, is one of the more undervalued receivers in the entire NFL right now. So give me that all day, every day. We moving up Levis on the, yes. So that'll be a big riser for me in my dynasty rankings. He will be probably in that 15 to 20 area of my dynasty quarterback rankings. Again, it's tough to say exactly how high he will end up because it's just a one-game sample, but I want to be reactive when it comes to young quarterbacks showing this level of talent. Like if he's going to go out there in that first game, show the arm talent on display, show the mobility, like took 7 carries in this game, I'm all for it, man. And if he keeps continuing to build off this, not only can he be a top 15 quarterback, I think he can be close to that top 12 range. So Stonk's definitely up for Will Levis. Again, I'm not going to push him too high quite yet because I don't want to be too reactionary. Want to see how he develops for the rest of the season. This is still a bad situation. Maybe it was a flash in the pan, but I'm very encouraged with what I saw from Will Levis. Now that I made my questions, just want to say hey and thanks for the info and the daily great content. Appreciate that, Donald. Appreciate. Speaking of content, you guys will be seeing the waiver wire video that I'll be putting up for tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Down 31 got Gibbs and Jacobs, half PPR. What do you think? It's going to be relatively close. So, I mean, you're looking at 15.5 half PPR points between them. I mean, bias, I'm hoping you get this done. I think you get this done. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is going to be in store for a really big game. And Josh Jacobs, he's going to be in store for probably like 12 to 15 points, realistically. That's kind of just what he does. Got another one from Mike. Appreciate that. What package could I give for Pollard and Keenan? The other GM and I are desperate. Bijan, AK, Algier, Warren, Olave, Puka, Wilson, Ridley, Deontay Rice. So you're going to acquire Pollard and Keenan. My advice would be see what or gauge the market for your opponent on what they would value Alvin Kamara at in that. Like, can you do Alvin Kamara plus? Again, I'm assuming he probably values Kamara over Pollard at this current point, given what they've shown on the field. If you can pull off like Kamara plus, honestly, I'd be willing to probably go Kamara plus Deontay, Kamara plus. Maybe you have to pay up to like Wilson. I'm fine with that. But yeah, that's what I'd be willing to deal there, Mike. That's what I'd be willing to deal. It all really just depends what the other owner's looking for. Where do we leave off here? Sun God or Jacoby Myers, 2 points per reception. Give me Sun God still. I understand he's facing an illness, but I just can't sit him. Thanks. Anytime there, Chauncey. I'm a hero RB short of winning it all. Oh yeah, you super chatted that. I appreciate that. Can we start D-Hop with confidence? Oh, I believe actually. So I skipped down earlier. My apologies. Vernon has been struggling versus the past. Their secondary is looking very spotty. Yeah, and I mentioned that on the wide receiver show last week. That I went into it. I said it. The Niners have a very strong defense. Like middle of their defensive line, their linebackers, their safety are very, very strong. The way you beat that 49ers defense is by throwing the ball outside the numbers. And we saw full on display. The Bengals were able to expose that. Chase solid day, Higgins solid day, Joe Burrow obviously over 30 PPR points. Like teams are going to start throwing the ball outside the numbers, and until the Niners adjust, they're going to have a hard time on defense, to be frank. By the way, real quick, this is the one thing like I said in the offseason that I don't think many people pointed to, especially when it came to Philadelphia and San Francisco, is it's no joke losing coordinators, man. It is no joke. With obviously the Eagles, you're going from Sirianni and you're going from Gannon to, I believe it's Johnson and Sean Desai. That was always going to have a little bit of a learning curve. And same thing with the 49ers. I mean, DeMeco Ryans was arguably the best defensive coordinator in the entire NFL. Steve Wilkes is a good defensive mind, man, but if you thought they were going to replicate exactly what DeMeco Ryans was able to do, like there was always going to be some type of curve in there. So I don't think people valued that quite enough. Need Laporta to maintain a 4-point lead over Devontae Adams to get to 3-5. My team has Bijan, Ayuk, Ridley, Stevenson type, so it's been rough, but I'm still one of the better teams. Need this week. Hopefully for you that gets it done. I do have Sam Laporta as well tonight, so let's hope so. Vikings may get Jameis Winston. Don't know if that helps going forward fantasy-wise. I mean, for fantasy, that would help a ton because that guy just puts the ball down the field and it doesn't really matter what happens, to be quite frank. He can get picked off 4 times in the game and he's still throwing the 50-yard bomb down the field. So I would rather that than Jaron Hall as a Jordan Addison owner myself. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. The deadline is tomorrow, which will be fascinating. How do you feel about Trey McBride rest of the season? You'll see a lot more of him on tomorrow's video. He may or may not be one of my top waiver claims, but very encouraged with what you saw. He basically commanded an elite tight end 1 level usage. He got the targets, ran basically all of the routes, like everything you want to see from a young tight end blossoming into a legit contributor. He showed on display. So very, very pleased with what we saw from Trey McBride. Up 20.58, have no one playing. Opponent has Jacobs. Am I safe? You should be safe. I don't think Jacobs, unless he scores 2 touchdowns in this game, is going to be a threat for a big-time performance. Like, he's going to be kind of inefficient. Lions have a good front. I think I'd probably give you a 65 to 70+% chance to win that, I would say, assuming that's PPR. Trey McBride's going to deliver me from tight end wasteland. Yeah, he may just be the late-round tight end savior. So if you guys waited at tight end, he may just be that guy. He may be that guy. Hey, Danny, Rice, JSN, QJ, Douglas, Dotson, rest of the season. In order, I mean, Rice has to be the number 1. He's going to be the number 1 wide receiver for the Chiefs. He's been really good. He's been the best of this bunch. I think he's got to be the number 1. 2 is probably between JSN, Jahan Dotson. I'd probably rank it JSN, Dotson, QJ, Douglas, though. If QJ does have another big-time performance, I'd probably raise him up that list. It's just Josh Palmer was kind of banged up in this game. They were mopping the Chicago Bears. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wanted to buy into QJ, but I have how many games of bad tape for him right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So Uriel, do you have a comment? Wait, so I can't super. Oh, fair. Respond to Corey. Someone get. What do you need, Corey? What do you need? Sorry. What do you need, brother? Here, I'm confused. Respond to Corey. It's not David, by the way, but I appreciate that. It's Danny. But what's up, Corey? Let me know. What do you want me to respond to? I'm trying to find his comment. Does anybody have his comment anywhere? Okay, I'll just go on and I'll keep a look down. Okay. Can we start D-Hop with confidence? We already got there. Top waiver ads, Gus Edwards worth it or just a few good weeks? We'll get into that. Gus Edwards should be rostered in the majority of leagues, so if he is available, I would absolutely pick him up. But I'll have my full top 10 for you guys tomorrow, including guys that should be rostered. Level of panic on Pollard. I'm worried on him. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'll tell you straight up, objectively, he has not looked like the same running back that he did last year. I don't know whether it was the high ankle sprain plus fracture fibula that he suffered in the playoff game against San Francisco. I don't know if it was the lack of offseason that he had recovering from that injury. I don't know what the case is, but he doesn't look like a difference-making running back at this point, which we expected coming into the year. And for a guy who picked him in the second round myself of my home league, hasn't been great to see because, I mean, everything we thought from a opportunity standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, is in place for him. He's just not playing good football. He's just not playing good football right now. So, where did we leave off here? Okay. I'm a Kelsey owner and Laporte on my bench. What do you think I can get for him? I would be looking for top 3 to 4 level tight end prices. If you can get that, absolutely. If you can get up to, I mean, from a wide receiver perspective, you use Sam Laporta plus Amari Cooper. Can that get you up to Brandon Ayuk? Can that get you up to maybe even Keenan Allen? Like, that's what I would be looking to do in that spot. Try to see if you can consolidate with it. Scott, what do you mean, Corey? I responded to you. Did you text me or what's going on here? Oh, here. You want the link? Okay, I didn't even see you, bro. How am I supposed to know that? Come on. Here. Where the heck are you in my thing? Here. I'm just gonna send in the mock draft season chat. You can get in there. Okay. So we should all be good here. Where do we leave off? Boom. Boom. Who's someone I can trade Kincaid for if I already have Andrews need a wide receiver? Kincaid for a wide receiver, the one I would be looking to do. Again, my advice is always to try to consolidate here. If you can take a lesser wide receiver plus a tight end and move up, that's what I'd be looking to do. But in terms of straight evaluation for Kincaid, like Marquise Brown, Chris Godwin, you probably won't get Pittman, but that's what I look for. Though you can get George Pickens, but I would love that. Josh Downs, someone like that is what I look at. Danny, my man, Olave and Bijan both didn't hit compared to ETN, but still smash 0-4, start at 4-4 now. But for real, what do we do with Addison, hoping for Dobbs rumors? I think you hold on depending on what the value is. And we got Mexico Bush in the chat. What's up, brother?
Jesus Christ, Danny. I'm trying to get your attention a million times.
Bro, all I see is in the chat, get this guy's attention. I'm like, what do you mean? And then I saw your text. I'm like, okay. I didn't even know. Did you call me?
No, I was just texting.
First. I got a call from a 1-800 number. What the hell? Okay. I don't know. I just saw a Miss Noti. I mean, we got Fletsky in the backstage too. Hey, we can pop in. How you doing, Flet?
What's good, bro?
Not much. We
doing
got the
good.
crew in here.
Wait, you're still live?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's in Mexico.
Get me out of here, bro.
You're good.
I'm on a fucking balcony in Mexico randomly at my room.
The connection good?
I can't tell, to be honest. I don't think so.
What wide receiver aside from Tyreek is above AJ Brown rest of season? I mean, I think you can make the case that like Diggs, Brown, Chase is probably right after Tyreek. I order them how you want.
The only other one, probably.
Also, I'm updating my rest of seasons right now. It has Hill, Diggs, Brown at 3, Chase at 4. You know who's at 5, baby. We had the fucking game we needed. 6,
Lamb.
Devontae.
You're gonna regret having Amon-Ra lower than Lamb, to be honest.
No, I'm not. You want to make the bet rest of season PPR? Let's do it.
Gladly.
All right. Okay. Let me write it in the private. versus ARSP PPR.
Anyways, I was just popping in for a minute or two. I gotta go to a dinner reservation in a couple minutes anyway.
Appreciate it. Enjoy that, brother. Enjoy that. But yeah, I don't know, man.
I'll be doing a Wednesday trade targets video. Hopefully, I might have to go to the front desk and pony up for the premium Wi-Fi because I'm not sure it's gonna hold up for me doing a whole stream.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. And if you need me to handle it, just let me know because I mean you are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to do it from the room. I think it'll be kind of fun. I'll probably just do do it live, and so I don't have to edit the video or anything because I don't want to. Yeah. Well,
you cut out, but it's all good, bro. I will say you are lucky you're in Mexico and we didn't do the reactions live stream because I would have been just talking about that Cowboys passing offense with a big uptick.
Yeah, we would have had to say, what the hell do we do with Will Levis now also?
Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, no. Stonk up for him. I can't wait to watch Thursday night. This guy is frozen. I'll let you freeze in the background unless you're good.
Yeah, take it easy, brother.
Take it easy. Enjoy, man.
Yeah, I'm going to head to dinner. So I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, boss. He's got to be top 2. Yeah, he's my 3, but I mean, like, he's absolutely in that top tier now. 2 quarterback league. I believe I already answered that. So good. Need Monra, Myers, Patterson, and Lions D to get me 35 plus. Fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully for your sake, that happens there, brother. Need 6 points out of Adams tonight. What do you think? It's what I need to beat you. LOL. Wait, you have? Wait, what? You have Adams against me? What league? I'm in. Oh, I'm trolling right now. I haven't even checked my matchups. What do you think about Jameis Winston to the Vikings? Yeah, no, that'd be good for fantasy. Dobbs to Minnesota. I wouldn't mind that either. Appreciate the help anytime there, Mike. Was offered a Love in an early first for CD and an early second in Dynasty during the week. Man, I'm glad I rejected you. It's tough, man. Like, fuck. CD Lamb, that's exactly what I knew he was capable of, and it was just glad to see the passing offense finally just let him go loose. Like, why is Michael Gallup getting targeted 10 times? Why are we running the ball on first and second down? You have CD Lamb on the outside, throw him the ball, and that's what happens when you throw him the ball. So just glad to see that come out. Pocket presence was impressive to see, but 15 to 20 is where I was thinking too. So behind Richardson shot. No, I absolutely agree there with that assessment, J Full. 15 to 20 is reasonable. Mid first makes sense. I believe we got a super, so we left off on Ethan. Just want to pop in and say, hey, appreciate that, Cheeky. Appreciate you popping in, brother. Appreciate that. Cheers, Corey. Donde hasta la bit. That's something to do with the library. Is he studying in the library? I don't know. I can't speak. Same one, get his tension. Up by 10. Opponent has Gibbs. I have Lions defense. Can I win it? I'm sorry, brother. I'm biased. I have Jahmyr Gibbs in the league. I can't let you win this one. I need Jahmyr Gibbs to go off. So unfortunately for your sake, it's looking like an L, Jonathan. All jokes aside, though, I'd probably give you like a 30% chance there. Respond to Corey. Yo, Dave. If you could redo the season, would you rather have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, or Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua? I mean, knowing now, because Cooper Kupp, you missed 4 games of him, and now you're also dealing with Stafford. But then at the same time, Justin Jefferson, you missed 4 games. Now you're without. This is basically just Puka versus Addison, I guess, at this point. I guess you'd have to go with the Puka Kupp side, but that's a weird hypothetical, man. Honestly, that is weird. Knowing that the more valuable longevity rest of season ones are literally like the wide receiver 2s in both of those instances, but. I guess they're all going to be affected by non-quarterback play anyways. That's a tricky one. I think I'd go Puka, but I don't know, man. That's tough. 12-team PPR need wins. What trade should I look for? Honestly, there's nothing that really sticks out. I mean, maybe try to sell high on Gabe Davis. Maybe see if you can package Gabe Davis plus Brandon Cook scored a touchdown. That can go consolidate you up to a better wide receiver. Maybe that gets you, I don't know, wide receiver 2 wise. You have Calvin Ridley. That would have been a name. T. Higgins. Can you get T. Higgins for that? That's what I'd be looking to do. McBride or Kincaid moving forward. Give me Dalton Kincaid there, Trigger. Gibbo, yes, sir. Gibbo. We got to hope he goes off. Will Josh Jacobs get me 25 points? It's unlikely, but if he punches in a couple touchdowns, he has a chance. But I would probably give you like a 35% chance there, maybe a 30. Like that'd be a tough ask, I would say. Thoughts on Kupp? I lowered him in my seasons. He's a back-end wide receiver 1 for me. It's tough, man. Like Matthew Stafford is technically day-to-day, but I saw what happened, man. His thumb looked like it was basically off the freaking bone. It looked like it was disfigured. So, not to mention, if he's dealing with that, the hand injuries there. There's so many good wide receivers at the top. I had to lower him to my wide receiver 9. It doesn't feel great knowing that this guy can break fantasy any given week, but I don't know. I just think there's safer options at this point, personally. TJ Hawkins is safe after Kirk out for the season. Not really, man. I think a lot of his value came from Kirk Cousins being the quarterback, so it will be tough. I think he's still probably a mid-range tight end 1 given the complexion of the position, but I definitely think you have to downgrade him. Look at the stash. Yeah, Bush was rocking the goatee. I got a little cookie duster here for Movember, so big shout out. Bijan Ridley for Chase. Yeah, I like that move if you can get Bijan Ridley. I like Chase, but at the same time, I do think Bijan Ridley side wins that. My bad, Mike Kincaid and Pace. That makes sense, Draven. Would Geno, Swift, and Waddle for Tyreek Hill and Nico Collins even be worth it? No. I would want Tyreek Hill and Nico Collins to be honest. They're elite. Down 100% confidence, straight up puts the hat on gladly on Amonra. I respect it. I mean, at the same time, though, CD Lamb will outscore him. I'll tell you that. How's Gibbs doing tonight, you think? For my sake, I'm going to say he scores 40 PPR points. He's the RB1 overall in the week, and he wins every one of their leagues. But realistically, I don't know, top 8 level expectation, maybe top 5 if he gets lucky. It really just depends, man, because, I mean, the matchup is there. The usage should be there as well. He should be able to figure figuratively smashing this game. Sorry, I can't even speak. But yeah, I'm Dark Side Rob. Oh, dude, I'm dumb. I didn't even realize. Yo, bro, I didn't even realize what your YouTube name was. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, you should be able to beat me there, Super. 12. I can't believe never realized you were Dark Side Rob, man. That's crazy. 12 teams PPR Superflex start. 8 currently 4-4. I have Hurts, A-Rich, Bryce, CD, Pittman, Godwin, Judy, blah blah blah. Moves to make. I mean, nothing in particular. I mean, yeah. Nothing off my head, to be honest. You're 4-4, and I think you got a pretty good team there, random guy. Go video. Appreciate that, Tucker. Pick 2 to drop, half PPR, half 2 for bye weeks. I'll see them in a second. AJ Brown for Henry and Olave. Honestly, just give me AJ Brown at this point. I want the stud factor. Got Kyron, Jay Cook at running back. Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry, I'm worried about. To be quite frank, he's just an older running back that doesn't really get the 3 down usage. So I'm just going with AJ Brown. I know what he is. He's a superstar wide receiver. Pick 2 to drop. Spears, Foreman, Singletary, Akers due to bye weeks need to pick up a quarterback and a tight end. I'm probably dropping Akers and Spears out of this list, Tucker. That's pretty close, though. Appreciate the comments. I thought it was an interesting topic. Yeah, it was, man. It was. Had me thinking there for a little bit there, Peter. Not gonna lie. Had me thinking there. Thoughts on Andrews so far? I mean, what's there to think of? I mean, he's what, the tight end 2 right now in fantasy? What is he? Tight end stats season? I think he's the tight end 2, no? Yeah, he's a tight end 2 overall. So I mean, there's not really much to think there. I think he's a stud. Or tight end 3, sorry, but technically tight end 2 points per game because he missed a game. Also, pick 1 to start. Foreman, Spear, Singletary, or Akers. I don't feel great about that at all. I mean, is this for next week? Because I'll know more by the time I make my running back rankings, but it's tough to sort through right now with the information I have right now on Monday night. Ask that on the Thursday stream. Ask that on the Sunday morning stream. I'll have more information for you there, Tucker. Anytime, Tucker. What'd you think trading Higgins late second for Judy, Braylon Allen, and late first? This is Devi. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I liked your side there. It felt like, getting the first round pick, knowing the spot you're in, taking a chance on Braylon Allen, who should be a day 2 draft pick in the NFL. I liked your side there, J-Full, to be honest. How do I get into a league with you, boys? So there's no real, realistically, we don't really have like a set way now. Like, we're probably going to do some dynasty leagues, which will probably be through our Flock Fantasy memberships. If you guys use our promo code Flocker or other Flocker packages, you'll probably have a chance at that point. We'll probably introduce some dynasty leagues at that point. We'll definitely do another redraft league at that point. That's what I'm assuming we'd be able to do. But again, like, it's tough to say at this point, given the fact we're in the midseason. But that would be my best guess, because I'm assuming come February, March, April, May, like, we're going to be doing some dynasty stuff. Obviously, going into next season, we're absolutely going to be having again our FSE listener league. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. What's your thoughts on projections going forward with Hawkinson, JJ, and Addison? I have all 3. It's tough to say with JJ because I actually don't know when he's going to be coming back or if he comes back. I want to say he's going to be coming back within the next couple of weeks, but at the same time, if they lose their next game or their next 2 games, he has no incentive to come back. So it's a really trickle situation. Obviously, when he comes back, he's a legitimate top 2 wide receiver with Tyreek Hill, but it's tough to say right now. In terms of the other 2, I think I would slightly prefer Addison straight up from a projection standpoint. It's tough to really say, though, knowing that the quarterback disparity is going to be there. Ayuk and St. Brown on bye. Which 2 are you trusting more of? Wilson, D-Hop, Nico, and Cooper? Again, I haven't really looked into the matchups at this point. I'll be completely honest. But, I mean, off my head, I'm probably going Wilson and Nico, knowing that I know exactly with their quarterback situation out of that. But it's tough to say. They're all pretty much going to be in a similar range for me in my rankings. Drop QJ for Shaheed. I have Olave. I would keep QJ there, to be honest, Uriel. Kyler Murray with stashing, PPR 6-point league. Yeah, I think he's worth stashing. I think at this point, they already mentioned that Josh Dobbs is not going to be the starter for that team at this point. It's either going to be Clayton Tune or Kyler Murray. So it really just depends, honestly, on if they trade Kyler Murray. If they don't trade Kyler Murray, I think he's going to be their starter moving forward. Danny, next week I have Goff on bye. How do you feel about Carr next week against Chicago Bears? I mean, for a streamer and quarterback, he's not bad, but I don't know. It's Derek Carr at the end of the day. I just don't really trust that guy at all. He kind of sucks at football. Waddle or Olave rest of the season? This is easily Waddle for me. I have to change that in my rankings. I'm worried about the Saints offense. I don't think it's a very good offense. And I mean, we're seeing so much Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave is on pace for 2 touchdowns overall. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough spot. You mentioned here Sam Howell going up against New England over Derek Carr if available. I mean, they're both kind of gross. I will. I'll know more about the matchups come again like Wednesday, Thursday, etc. Now it's really tough to say on Monday right now because I'll be quite honest. I haven't really done as much research as I have in terms of next week's slate. But if you ask me again on Thursday live stream, Sunday live stream, I'll have a lot more information for you. But I'll get through these last couple comments and I'll probably close off the stream because I want to set my lineup in case I have anything etc. Get ready for the game. Thoughts on Broncos and Judy? I think they trade him. I think straight up, I think they trade him. We'll see what happens by the deadline tomorrow, but I do not think he will be a Denver Bronco come tomorrow after the deadline. And is Bijan Robinson still an elite running back rest of the season? Yes. I mean, the answer is yes for me. He is still my RB4 rest of the season. I think he's in the tier with like Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, Jonathan Taylor. I have Travis Etienne ranked ahead of him because I do think that the offense and what Travis Etienne has shown on display should be ahead of him. But at the same time, again, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, lower Tony Pollard a little bit. He's more of a back end RB1 now. Like, yeah. Bijan Goat traded Jacobs for him. Yeah, I absolutely love that move. I think Josh Jacobs is more of a 1-2 turn guy. Bijan is still a top 5 guy for me. But either way, been live for about 40 minutes. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I will be signing off right now. And if you need any Monday Night Miracles, good luck. Hopefully you guys secure those dubs in your matchups. Take care.